Hello, everyone. It's Linda Ockwell, Jenna here again with the SBCN Small Biz podcast series. And if you remember, we are asking our expert business owners who are members of the SBCN to come along once a month, once every 2 months, and share some valuable tips with you. And I know you're enjoying them already. So today I have a lovely person who sometimes lives in America, sometimes lives in Ontario, Canada. Very, very successful guy, got a wonderful story. So it's Glenn, excuse me, everybody, Glenn Poulos, and he's the president of Prague, USA. Did I get that right? I said it very slowly.
Yep, that's right.
I'm tripping over my tongue today. So again, thank you for your time, and we're always excited to see what you've got to share with the small business, the middle businesses, the top businesses. So basically, I'm hoping you're keeping well.
I am doing really well, and thanks so much, Linda, for having me today. It's great to be here on this. I'm actually in Canada today, even though my business is in Orlando. I wish, for weather-wise, I was there, but I'm
So
home
do I.
visiting family. It's kind of a gray, muggy, rainy day today. So,
It
but
is, but
still,
hey, we can work
um,
all over the
yeah,
world, can't we, today with the
we
virtual?
can indeed. Yeah.
So you've
So,
got a
but it's
wonderful
great to be
topic.
here.
Oh, thank you so much. You've got a
Yeah.
wonderful topic for us today.
Yep. Yeah. It's sort of like, sort of four things on how to sort of grow your business or how to focus on your small business. And, small businesses are just big businesses in the making, right? I mean, you never know when large scaling opportunities can come along. And, one of my favorite sayings is, you only get forever to make another impression, right? You may
Yeah,
make the right impression on someone that can really change the trajectory of your business, no matter how big or small. So, whether you're a local printer, you could easily, maybe get a national contract for printing, by visiting a manufacturer in your area that you didn't really think about, right? Kind of thing. So, yeah. So the first thing I always, tell people, large or small, doesn't matter, these are universal principles, right? Is that showing up creates opportunity, right? And showing up also is like, once you're there, it's a lot better than doing it remotely anyways, right? People are
agree.
often averse to it, but when they get there, that's the best part of their day, is talking to their clients and their customers, and they're like, why did I wait so long to, make this call or whatever, right? I should have
Yeah,
been here a month ago or whatever, right? But you know I don't want to be too generalization, but I mean, I feel like a lot of small businesses rely too much on email, and messages, right, to try to get the stuff across. So the you know and when you show up in person, that's when things change. That's when I think the magic happens, and you can really see how the business works, right? And I call it getting behind the curtain of the Wizard of Oz, right? And who's pulling the strings, right? And what's going out the back door, what's coming in the back door, and how they work. And because you might have been dealing with them over the phone or remotely or in some way, shape, or form, and then you get there and they take you into the back and show you their business, and you realize that your biggest competitor is actually getting 95% of their business, and you didn't realize it. They're all wearing IBM underwear and t-shirts and coffee mugs and mouse pads, right? And I'm just using IBM as a generic name, but I mean, uh, and you didn't realize that they were such a large sort of consumer of what you do,
that's
or
funny.
maybe other parts of your business, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And IBM underwear, it's very comfortable, right?
I
We
was going
all,
to ask you,
you know,
how do you
yeah,
know what underwear
but
they're wearing?
yeah,
I'm not going to ask.
but
So you must
yeah.
have some then. You must have some.
Yeah, for sure, from time to time. But if you've ever been on Instagram lately, we're
Yeah.
all getting familiar with man-made underwear, right? Which
Oh
is the new,
yeah, yeah,
right? And
yeah.
it's not cheap, but my wife ended up buying me. I said, look, buy me a 3-pack,
I love it.
I think it was Christmas or something, before we go all in, just to see what it's like. And I realized, after years of going, I think it was I used to go to the Calvin Klein store, right?
Yeah,
Major brand, global brand, whatever.
yeah.
And I would always buy their 3-packs, and that was what I wore, day in and day out. But this man-made stuff, and I'm not trying to be funny, I mean, this man-made
No,
stuff is super comfortable. It is,
that's good to know. And also,
yeah,
when we watch a TV commercial or we watch something on Facebook, sometimes we think to ourselves, well, it's a brand. Is it any good? But the
Right.
fact that you've actually chosen, and lots of other people, because now they're making men's trousers as well, the
Yeah.
fact that we are both into the brand, obviously for Dave, my husband, and
Yeah.
we like the brand, that's good for the brand. But also, I wonder what they're doing different to make us go that second step because you've brought up a good topic, actually. I love this one. When people on LinkedIn in particular, it is like being on the TV commercial or on the radio, isn't it? If you think about it, and they try and sell, 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 but they don't know the right way to do it. So, did you say you found man-made on the TV or on social media?
I found them on social media, and that, and so like I said in my first part, was showing up creates the opportunity, right? And
Yeah,
that's where you find problems you can solve. But then the second part of my little four pack is that relationships beat transactions, right? And
yeah.
I think there's four guys that own Man-Made or something like that, if memory serves me correctly. And
I don't
you
know.
know, they try to they try to win by developing trust, right? And so these very relatable guys have relatable videos
Yeah,
and
they do.
scenarios on
Yeah,
their socials and their advertising media that they use, whatever it
they
is.
and they're
This
reaching
starts
us, aren't they? They're
yeah,
reaching us. They're touching us, aren't they?
yeah, yeah. And
So how do,
the
how do
large
they do that? I
companies,
mean, what is it about them that you think draws us to them? I know you said they're relatable, but why are they more relatable than, say, another business that is not getting so much traction, do you think?
I think because they're the content is presented in a way that's more down to earth and real world than
Yeah,
Calvin Klein models or something, with
that
six
makes a lot
packs
of
and
sense. That was a really
and
good thought. Yeah, that was great. I
yeah,
love that
you
because
know
people think turning up on social media is easy. And then they say to you or me probably, well, why am I being ignored? Why is nobody taking any
yeah.
notice? So that is one of your
Right. And the other thing is, and I'm sure, and I don't want your audience to think that I'm applying for a job as the VP of sales at Man-Made Underwear, but if
that's so
memory serves
funny.
me correctly, like customers remember who helped solve problems
Yeah.
and stay involved after the sale. And a lot of what they do is like they talk about the comfort and not slipping down and like sliding down and
Yeah.
other things like that, right? And I don't remember their entire shtick,
No,
but
no.
but I mean they're solving real world problems in men's clothing, right?
Yeah.
And there's other guys that are doing the t-shirts, and they're they kind of like hide the man gut and all that, and give you a more refined look in a plain t-shirt, right? And which
Yeah.
can sometimes be unbecoming, and that is a real
That's
world problem, right?
interesting.
Like,
It is, yeah. And they are
and
showing us how to solve it on social media. They're not just trying to sell, here's a
yeah,
t-shirt, here's some underwear.
yeah,
They are actually interacting with us. That's a wonderful point. I love it because
yeah.
I will look more at their social media now. I watch them on the TV and I nudge Dave and go, Dave, because women like to be comfortable. Why should men be comfortable? That's a
Right,
really great,
right.
great way to go.
Yeah,
And I know you don't want to be the CEO of their company
right.
because you've got your own company.
Yeah. Although they're
Oh,
doing pretty good. So they're doing pretty good. I don't know. Maybe I should apply for the job. Just kidding. And
that is so funny.
yeah. So then the third thing, super important, is you have to protect your margins, right? And
Yeah.
so, and again, I mean, we're on a theme, right? If you've ever seen those ads, you realize that, I don't know, I think the 3-pack might be like $55 or something like that. Like that is not cheap, right?
No, no,
And they don't apologize for it.
no.
So, like, and so what they're saying is, you can find cheaper products out there,
Yeah,
but you'll have to go back and buy them again later, right? And
that's
so
it.
they want to deliver the non-slip, super comfortable, appealing product, but they don't apologize for the price, right?
No,
And nowhere in their messaging are they talking about being the valued one or whatever. And
no.
and honestly, I mean, there is a little bit of sticker shock because when you look at, if you're at Walmart or something, or Target US, like you can find 9.99 pairs of underwear, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So $55 kind of strikes you, but when you realize the lifespan of it, and the comfort and the quality and the durability, and with that product, pricing becomes better margins, and with better margins become the ability for you to provide better service,
There
right?
you
And
go.
so, revenue can be exciting, but margin is what keeps the lights on, right? And my brother, who you know well, right? He
Yeah,
says if there isn't any margin, there isn't a company,
that's
right?
true.
And so many people are like, oh, well, I'm going to get this order because it's going to keep my machines busy. Like maybe you get a printing deal and it's for, you're doing it at like a penny above cost or whatever. And you're arguing with your partner. And they're like, oh, wow, it's a big deal. And it's going to keep everybody employed, and
Mm.
but those are not good deals. And
No,
they often chase deals, small businesses, to win the order, and that can be really dangerous. And
it's a
and
good
I mean, I
point.
speak from direct and painful experience, right?
Oh, you poor thing.
Every sale needs to have enough margin to support the business and
Exactly.
pay for the people, the service, and the growth that it's related to,
That's another
right? There's
really good
no
point.
loss leaders or anything like that, right? And
And you've
yeah.
also identified another really great point. So in my case, I'm just wearing regular clothes today. But for my business as a motivational speaker, you'll probably see me in the same certain uniform, a lot of pink clothes, which cost a lot of money, but they have
Mhm.
lasted for many years. And people
Right.
don't remember that I've worn them
Yeah.
before, really.
Right.
I'm reusing them. So that gives me a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? It gives me a lot of value for money. I know I look
Yeah.
nice in the clothes. They are made really well. And basically, that's what we were talking about, not just with the underwear, but with any
So you're
service
sure
we
that the
offer.
paparazzi didn't notice that you were on the red carpet last year wearing it?
Oh, you are
No.
sweet. You are so sweet. But basically, no. I mean, we notice things like, say, um, Princess Kate, if she wears a dress in
Yeah. Right.
2009, and I think that's wonderful that she's saving money and she's got,
Yeah.
I think she's got a lot of money. But now my point really is basically, I think a lot of smaller businesses and maybe all businesses, you would know that better than me, if they are chasing the one order, they're not really looking forward. They're only looking in the
Right.
here and now. And we have to plan ahead. We can't just plan for, and I think that's a mistake that you may have made in the past and myself, but we don't make it now. So that's another good point, the margin. I love that one. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And the fourth one is, you want to be always bringing value to the conversation, so every meeting should try to help the customer in some way, right? Bringing them an idea. In the book, I say something in your hand and something in your mind, right?
Yeah.
So if you're visiting, you often want to bring them something and tell them something, right? and and it's only through, where I was saying, going back to number one, which is showing up creates opportunity. That's where you realize how you can really help them, because you realize how they, and I can't say this enough, like how they make their money. And a lot of companies, mistake the way companies make money. And I often give the example of Xerox, right? Which is a very big company, but the point is valid and can be, you can transpose it into other areas, which is, most people think Xerox is like a photocopier company, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
But really, that's not what they are. They're actually a bank, right?
Oh,
Like they make their money leasing you photocopiers, and they're not even leasing them. They sell them to you at 4 cents a page, right?
that's
Like they
interesting.
say, what is your volume of printing that you do? Is it color or black and white? How many are
Hmm.
you doing? Is it 1,000 a month or 100,000 a month? Right? Do you
Hmm.
need sorting and collating and thing? And okay, we'll do it for 3 cents a page,
Wow.
right? The machines will never be broken. If they break down, our machine will tell us it's broken. Our technician will show up. We'll either fix it or replace it on the spot. And you just keep paying 3 cents a page. And for them, it's a financial thing. It's got nothing to do with, and most people don't really care whether or not there's a color display on the photocopier or this, that, or the other thing, right? And so for Xerox, appealing to them as a hardware company, in a lot of
Wow.
cases, you're not appealing to them in the right way. You should be appealing to them as a financial services company, right? A bank, in a way,
That is
right? They
interesting. That
make their
is
money off of they make their money not selling photocopiers. They make their money like leasing you products, when leasing is a financial instrument, not a manufacturing, now, yes, they make the products and everything, but I just want to,
yeah, it's a really
bring
good
the point
point.
across, right? and
Yeah.
um and so you want to make sure that you're appealing to them in a way that generates more money for them in the way that they make their money. And you can only figure that out by showing up, right? And that's how you can bring value to the conversation. So
So
you bring, yeah,
I,
sorry, go
I
ahead.
understand that about showing up, but some of the smaller businesses do have global clients.
Right.
So if they can't show up to the global clients, but they can show up to the local clients, what can they do with probably a Zoom call to actually be present and to be more about finding out, more about their client than trying to sell more to them? It's very difficult on Zoom,
Right.
isn't it, really?
Yeah. Yes, it is. And so if it's unavoidable, it's unavoidable. And so I'm just saying like at the default is like if you can visit them, go.
Oh, yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? But if they're in Vancouver and you're in Waterloo,
Mm.
obviously, you're not gonna fly to Vancouver for $1,000 sale. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
Yeah.
just not gonna happen.
No,
But
no.
so if you have to do it by Zoom, then you have to have your best Zoom face on. And then that's where I caution people about making sure you're doing a powerful pitch, right? And on my website, I have this thing called the Punch Perfect Pitch and Close, right? Anyone can download it for free. And it's how you
Oh,
build a
great.
presentation to appeal to people in a way that'll keep them engaged and not falling asleep on Zoom while you're trying to sell to them, right?
Oh, that would be
And
nice, yes.
yeah. And so, and the why do you call it the punch perfect pitch is basically again like calling on my little 3-pack here of what I talked about, which is showing up, relationships, margins, etc. You want to figure out like why are they engaging with you? Like what exactly is it about your particular product or service? Because you might have 3 or 4 hot buttons, right? Like you
Hmm.
might solve this problem, this one, and this one, right? And oftentimes when you go in, you want to list them all, be proud of it, and brag about it, right? But maybe the one they need's the fourth one, and by the time you get there, they're already asleep and thinking about the shopping list to go at home,
Exactly, exactly,
right?
yeah.
And so before you get them on Zoom, you want to make sure you've researched that company and you're saying, you know what, it's not the quality or the color or the size, it's the speed with which we can deliver,
Oh,
and something like that, right? And so then
yeah.
what you want to do is that you will want to start your presentation by showing them something where someone else is achieving the exact result and feeling that they're going to feel when they get the speed that you're going to offer. and
Wow.
and don't even talk about the other things, and don't tell them that you've got 3 offices and Kitchener, Waterloo, and Cambridge, and you started in 1973 business, and
Yeah.
you know passed on from father to son, and like
You
by
are
then
funny.
they don't
Very
care.
zoomed out. That's a really good tip. It really is. But also, I believe in the research. I've got to tell you, one of the worst things people do on social media, LinkedIn in particular, is to not
Oh,
research us. And I can be a
yeah,
really mean, nice person. So
yeah,
basically, it's rather insulting to tell someone like you and I, we can turn you into an author. We can help you write
right.
books. So
Yes, exactly.
so when
Yeah,
somebody come
yeah,
private with me and said that, I said, "Have you researched me?" And they go,
yeah,
"No." And I go, For the tip for the next person, because you've lost me. I'm not going to be your client. You've lost me
right,
because you've, in a way,
yeah,
insulting me because you have no idea who you're selling to. So that's why I point you in the right direction. That's why if we can turn up in person, whether it's to the office, to the warehouse, to a party, to networking, coffee meeting, if it has to be Zoom, try and make it as real as possible. I think that's the message I've gotten from you. Don't turn it into a sales pitch, but research first, even for Zoom, because we're trying to sell to somebody and we don't even know them. And this is why I picked on you, and I know you're busy, to be our expert in this kind of, tips and ideas. You've been there, you've done it, and you've admitted you've sold businesses, you've made mistakes. You're a human.
yeah,
So
yeah.
why not,
Oh yeah,
get as much information off you to share with our people? Because
yeah,
why reinvent the wheel?
yeah.
Why reinvent
Yeah,
the wheel, you know? We don't
exactly.
need to do. So
Exactly.
where what is your, if you can tell us your website where they can pick up, download the Zoom, not the
Yeah.
Zoom. What is it called
The
again?
guide.
The
Punch
guide,
perfect
yes.
pitch and close. Yeah.
Thank you. And then we'll pop
Glenn
it on the
Poulos. Yeah,
website
it's
too.
glennpoulos.com. So just my name.com.
And
And
they can just take it and use it
yeah,
for
they
their
can just
own.
download it, no charge, and feel free to
That's
use it. And the perfect pitch part of it really is the concept of the Goldilocks principle, right? And the Goldilocks principle, is everything is served better in threes, right? So small, medium, large, good, better, best,
I
right?
love that.
And that the brain thinks naturally in threes, quite, and that's why often marketers appeal to you in that way. So once you've punched them, and the punch is basically showing them, your product. Remember, we said out of the four things, speed was the
Mm,
most important. You show
mm,
them an example of another company, that's not a competitive to
mm,
them, getting the result they need of the speed. And then
mm.
they're like, wow, that's exactly what we need. Oh my
Yeah.
God. And then you go through a three start. You tell them what you're going to tell them, and then
Tell
you
them what
tell
you're
them
gonna.
what you told them.
Uh-huh.
Goldilocks, right? You tell them three things, not two, not four. If two's not enough, four's too many. And you dive into it. You skip all the other color commentary about all the other features and stuff,
Yeah,
right? And focus in. And at the end, the
I'm with
punch
you.
perfect pitch. Now that's done. The close is them saying, well, how long does it take to get on board, or what's it cost, or because they close themselves at that point.
Oh
And
yeah.
if they haven't done that, then you
Mm.
didn't do it right. And you kind of have to go back and look at how you've presented it, and maybe start over in some cases.
You are
And
amazing. And
yeah,
you know the three thing, that's really interesting because when I was a very, very new motivational speaker and didn't know anything, somebody told me that you tell them what you want to tell them three times. In
right.
in this case, it could be slightly different, but you're sharing the same message. So I didn't
Yes.
realize that that was what you were getting at, and it's a really, really good tip. All I can do is thank you from afar, even if you are closer to us today, and say I cannot ever say thank you enough for your support and your
No
your
problem.
I don't
Yeah.
know, community. You've got a great community around you, and you joined our community, and you keep wowing me and everybody who talks. Just a thank you again for your time, and
Oh,
travel
thanks.
safe when you go back
Yeah.
to America.
All right. Thanks, Linda. Great to be here.
Thank you so much.